All right, we are recording. All right, today is July 6th, 2023. My name is John. I moderate the BYOB trading room. Let's take a look at let me just take a look at somebody had a question, and it was regarding do I take the first candle or do I wait for candles over VWAP? If I get a cross, let me just turn this on. All right, I'm just gonna crank it up just a little bit so we can see it. Just a little bit more. All right, so if I get a cross over VWAP right here on this candle, I take that candle. Okay, if it's over VWAP, I take that candle. If it's under VWAP, all right, if the cross occurs, if the cross occurs down here, I wait for a clean candle over VWAP. All right. Now, it cannot be a doji candle like this. It can't be a topping tail. It can't look like that red candle there. All right, because that's a pause, end of the move candle, and it can't look like a doji candle like this one right here, red or green. Either one of these, red or green. It can't look like this because that's a pause candle. All right. If the clean candle not attached to VWAP looks like that, I don't take it. If it's a topping tail, in other words, it's a big tail going up into the sky, I don't take it. All right. So I wait for a clean candle that does not look like that. All right. That's how I take those. Yeah. A clean candle. Nothing attached by the wick, shadow, or tail to VWAP. Here's your VWAP right here. See the brown line? All right. I don't want anything attached to it. All right. If that's if the cross occurs under VWAP. All right. If it occurs under VWAP, I require clean candle over VWAP before entering. And it can't be a topping tail or a doji candle. Okay. That's how I take it. Everybody understand? You're welcome. Everybody understand? All right. Beautiful. All right, let me get my arrows out, take that off. Let's go take a look at the SPY. Okay, this morning, the SPY, hey, good morning, Julie, Dennis. Oh, can I please explain again? Yes, okay. All right, Muthu, we take a 10-minute cross. We find a bullish chart, okay? You find a bullish chart, you go to the daily. All right, let's go to the daily. All right, let's just find a bullish chart on the daily. All right. Let's just take a look at Amazon. All right. All right. Now, this is a bullish. I'm going to strip a lot of that stuff off. Okay. You see this chart right here? Would you not say that is that in an uptrend? Just give me Y's and Y and N. Y for yes, N for no. Yeah. Okay, so that's in an uptrend. You've got green trend indicator balls. The 3 is pointed up. The 3, this is the 3 EMA pointed up. The white, which is the T line, that's the 8 EMA. That's also pointed up, okay? So everything fits the parameters of this being in a daily uptrend, okay? So now inside this daily uptrend, there's going to be several 10-minute uptrends, okay? Okay, there wasn't one here on this day because it's a red candle that started out here and just fell all day, right? Okay, so inside you can see all these green candles most likely had 10-minute uptrends in them. All right. And those are the ones we want to play, and if they wind up, moving up and they're still in those uptrends come closing time, you stay in them and you can see you get the next move the next day and then move the next day. Okay. So what I look for to enter into these green candles is I go to the 10-minute chart and I look where the 3 crosses over. See where the 3 crosses over the yellow line, crosses on top of the white line right there. Okay. So this occurred under VWAP. So let me crank up VWAP so you can see it clearly. All right. Can you see the orange line? That's VWAP. This is VWAP. Okay. If the cross happens under VWAP, I require a clean candle over VWAP for me to enter it. Okay. So notice we went up and we have a tail up there. I wait for the candle to close, but the very next candle's a red one. It takes me all the way back down. Not going to enter on a red candle. Okay. I want to enter on a green candle and I want it to be not attached to VWAP. So that's my rule. Okay. And it can't look like a doji candle or a topping tail. All right. See, that one's got a top. See, here's one. See that topping tail right there? Yeah, that's a sign not to enter that candle. Because what happened right after that? Price came from here, moved to here, and then all the way down. All right. See, that's a sign not to take that candle. It's over VWAP and it's clean, but all right, it's a big tail candle. You don't want to enter that one because you're going to get hurt if you're going to go long on this one. Okay. So it can't be a big topping tail candle, and it can't be a candle that looks like, that looks like this. All right. Because what's that? That's a doji candle. That's a sign of price action pausing. Okay. So that's my rule. If it happens underneath, all right. Now, if the cross happens on top of VWAP over it, then I can get in. Just can't be attached to VWAP. All right. That's all. I can get in if the cross occurs on top of VWAP. If it occurs under, then I need a clean candle on top in order for me to enter. See right there, by my rule, notice this one didn't pass. Good thing because it came down. This one almost tricked you out right there. You had the pause candle right there. You went up over the high of this and you had the clean candle, but the very next candle was a red one. So that was trickery right there. But that was at the end of the day. And you really don't want to enter at the end of the day because a lot of action happens. So you might as well just wait till the last minutes to see where they close them. Okay, you get it now? All right, awesome. I'm going to trash that. We're going to pop that off and go back to SPY. All right, so here's SPY's 10-minute chart. I'm going to zoom out to the daily. All right, here we are with SPY on the daily. All right, so here's my scratch chart. And you can see we're gapping down this morning. My pivot my pivot this morning is, let me just get the 15-minute. I'll just get the 30. All right. See, now we're already starting to come through the open gap here. Okay. There is a double open gap after 439.44. All right. So my morning SPY pivots 441.20. Below that, I'm going to be a bear. Above it, I'm going to be a bull. All right. So we're breaking through and we're starting to gap fill right now in the pre-market. All right. So let's just look and find out where the midpoint is. You got a high and you got a low. So let's just see where it's at. I'm just going to drag this out. All right. So you can see right here, here's the dotted line right there. That's a possible target today. All right. So you got right on there, 437.73. You got a single open gap fill right here, 439.44, and a double open gap fill to be had at 438.18. Okay, so there we got two open gaps. All right, let's look at the daily. Daily is doing exactly what we asked it to do. We kind of wanted to, where's messy? And let's take this off. We wanted it to stay up here and bull flag. Well, it's probably setting the bottom side of the flag right now. All right, so here's your flag up, and we're probably setting the bottom side of the flag. We'll see, unless they want to come all the way back to the midpoint. I would expect if they come into the midpoint really hard and fast, you can probably expect a red rubber ball bounce. How high that ball bounces or the price action bounces, I don't know. All right. I would think you should be able to get a buck and a quarter off that bounce if you're playing SPY. Just a FYI, I would think you would be able to get that at a minimum. And it may just take off from there on the bounce if we come into that midpoint hard and fast. All right. So we failed to make a higher high on this day, and this day. All right. Failed to make the higher high, significant higher high. So here's market law number 4, kind of playing out here. All right. Failure to make a significant higher high results in what? Price potentially making a lower low. So we're headed back down, and we're going to challenge probably. Well, first we're going to go through the midpoint of this move up right here. Open this up here so you can see it. So first we're going to come through the midpoint, which is right here. I know there's a lot of lines. It's about 437.70, and then maybe challenge this low here, maybe go lower. We'll see what happens. Okay. So I noticed we didn't have any make a higher high up here yesterday. So I said there's a good chance that they gap down this morning and probably trade lower. So I told everybody in the room, think about putting some hedges on just in case, we double top up here and we fail to make the higher high. So anybody that put a hedge on last night or yesterday before close is going to be happy that they did that. Me, I put on 30 bear call credit spreads. So good question. CJ asks, is it a higher high or is it a higher close? Well, It's the high, CJ. You definitely want a higher high. If the high happens to be the close, well then that's great too. But you want it to make a higher high. On 630 is 444.30. Yeah. Significant higher high. So 430 was, let me just get my crosshairs. Let me make sure I know what he's talking about. Yeah, the high was 440, 430. Yes. Okay, but it's not a significant higher high. Just beating this, how high were we here? 443.90. Okay. And the high here, 444.30. All right. So it's not a significant higher. We only beat it by 40 cents. You know, when you're looking at a $400 stock, right? You know what I'm saying? How much is 40 cents? It's like a drop in the bucket when you're coming down to, you know, a $400 stock. You know, if it was like a 10-cent stock and it moved up and had a 40-cent difference, that would be a big move. But in a $400 stock, it's not going to be worth a whole lot. Okay. All right. So we wanted to bull flag. All right. So now we couldn't make the higher high. It doesn't seem to want to hold a flag, or it may just be, you know, setting the flag now. It may come down to this 439 and climb back up over 442 and bull flag some more. So we'll see what happens, what they want to do with it today. I don't know if there's any bad news that came out. We'll take a look. Anyways, let's just go ahead and take a look at some of the economic data out there. All right, so here we have the 6-hour chart of the US dollar. And it looks like we came down from last night a little bit, but we're climbing back up. So we're still holding this uptrend right here on the dollar. For economic calendar, what do we got happening today? It's Thursday. OPEC meets again this morning. ADP report happens at 8:15, so that already happened. International trade goods at 8:30. Jobless claims at 8:30. PMI composite after the market opens at 9:45. And ISM services is 10 o'clock. JOLTS also at 10 o'clock. So we'll see what happens here on Thursday. Got a little bit of economic data, not much. And the employment situation opens up at 8:30 tomorrow. For the earnings, let's take a look at the earnings. We're on the 6th. Not much. Just Levi's, Nutrix. That's about it. Not much on the earnings calendar. The bank earnings are coming up here. Just letting you know that. So we got some Bank of South Carolina is going to report on the 13th. And PepsiCo is going to report on the 13th. Unity Bank's going to report on the 13th. I don't see Washington Federal. That might be a bank. That's reporting on the 12th. And I think Amex might be a bank or oil. Not sure what sector that one's in. But anyways, banks are going to start reporting on the 12th and moving forward. So it's pretty critical we get the XLF to be able to hold over the midpoint in the near future. So we'll see what happens. We really need those banks to hold up strong. So here's the SPY kind of pulling back. Probably going to pull back to the T line. Notice the T line's lining up with the single open gap, not quite the double open gap. Here's your single open gap here, and your daily T line was at T-line was at 439.89. So it's possible they spike the T-line and bounce at 439.44. So we'll see what happens. If you look at this in the pre-market activity, you can see why I picked 441.20. You can see the price action came down to this number and held in the pre-market. Looks like for a good 3 or 4 hours. And now it's breaking through. We'll see if they're going to come all the way down to here or not. Once they start their journey, I would think they're going to complete it. If they wind up coming up short, that'll be a big shocker. That'll be some news for me. So there's the SPY trying to do the gap fill right there. All right, so let's look at the Qs. So now let me just say, before when we left off yesterday, all the daily charts, were in daily uptrends. Daily uptrend there. And most all of them were in hourly uptrends as well. So daily uptrends and hourly uptrends. So there's the SPY hourly uptrend right there. Going into the close. All right. QQQ, hourly uptrend. See it? This is before the shaded section. Hourly uptrend and daily uptrend. Right there. So QQQ doing well. QQQ having a pullback. Maybe pull back to midpoint, spike it, and then come back up. Might just come down, kiss it, and then move back up over. Where's the minor support for the intraday pattern? Well, anytime you see these candle wicks pointing up, that's going to be your minor support for your intraday patterns. Major support is going to be this section down here where the low is. That right there is going to be your major. Your minor support is going to be up here. Okay? So here we are coming back, testing minor support. We don't want to go all the way through minor support and start testing major support. That's what we don't want to see if you're a bull. All right, there's QQQ. Hourly uptrend, daily uptrend. Now, the hourly is going to change probably today. We'll see what happens. All right, let's take a look at IWM. IWM is in a daily uptrend. See the price action? You got higher lows, trend indicators green. On the hourly, all right, we started to ink out an hourly downtrend on IWM yesterday. All right, and you can see we're getting some follow through today, and they're coming down into the midpoint here, and see these tails that stick up? That'll be the minor support. So you can see they're kind of in that right now, right in that area there. These tails that stick down, this will be the major support. And because they started this early, there might be a chance for them to come all the way down and test the major support area down here. We'll see how far they get today. That's IWM. Also on IWM, failed to make a significant higher high. Can you see those wicks up there? Kind of line up right across the top there. So failed to make a significant kind of higher high. Now, they may be putting in a higher low, and then they may jump right back up into the bullish zone. You know where I like to say the bullish zone is? It's in the upper third. So this would be the top. And I kind of just eyeball it. That's 75%. So what would be 66? Probably right about there. So we like it to stay in the upper third. That'd probably be 66 because this is 50. So they were staying in the upper third until the very last candle there. Then they fell out right there. So there's IWM. Now let's go look at the diamonds. Diamonds on the daily chart. higher lows, higher highs. Failure to make a significant higher high. See that? That's actually a lower high. So daily uptrend, still in the daily uptrend. Even though it failed to make the significant higher high, it's still on its journey. So we've got still green trend indicators on the diamonds, the Dow Jones. Right here is a pullback to the midpoint. That's normal. Kind of need to pull this out to here. Here's the pullback to midpoint. That's normal. Okay, so now let's look at the hourly. So you can see they were just about to turn the corner here. This would have been the last candle. Notice it's still green. So you still have an hourly uptrend in progress at closing yesterday. Now, in the pre-market and the post-market, they broke that. They're breaking that trend now. So that hourly uptrend is breaking now. The daily uptrend is still intact. And this is normal. This is normal for a 15-minute or a 10-minute downtrend to occur inside of a daily uptrend. That's completely normal. So there's diamonds. Daily is in an uptrend. Hourly is getting crushed in the pre-market right now. The hourly uptrend. All right, let's take a look at semiconductors. Let's look at the SMH. All right, here's the SMH on a daily, and that's today's candle. SMH, for all intents and purposes, still in a daily uptrend, just challenging that trend right now. So, big jump up, higher lows here. This still could afford to even pull back to a point. Let's just put a trend line from here up to here. And let's just create a parallel and drop it. Let's just drop that trend line over here. So, we still could afford to pull back to a section of 142 and still remain bullish. Now, the trend indicator would not be bullish at that time. In other words, the trend indicator would be red, but it would still maintain an hourly uptrend if it held at this point here where the trend line is. And all I did was connect this to these tops right there and then create a parallel line and drop it off of this bottom here. Okay, so this would still be an uptrend even if it had red candles pulling back to here. Wouldn't be an uptrend I want to play till I saw it bounce. But there's the SMH. Was in an uptrend as of yesterday evening. On the hourly, it was kind of rolling over here, starting its hourly downtrend. So here we are coming down, and we'll see if they put in, this is just the first 4 or 5 candles. We'll see if they put in a lower high. So far, pre-market doesn't count, so we got to wait till the market opens up to see if they put in a lower high. Obviously, they're crushing this hourly uptrend, and they're trying to put in a lower low. So there's SMH. Transports. Transports on the daily. Transports are on fire. Look at the space between trend indicator and price action. Really nice on the transports. So there's the daily. Daily's in an uptrend. Hourly's in an uptrend. In the pre-market, we'll see what happens. This hourly uptrend might break, and they might run down and test the daily uptrend. Now, we are kind of extended here. I would expect probably some move from, let's just take a move from here up to there, and then parallel it, put it over here. Okay. And let's move this over. So they could actually pull all the way back to this trend line. That'd be a big fall and still remain in an uptrend on a larger time frame. Just saying. There's always that possibility. All right, so IYT kind of overextended here on the IYT, but maybe a pullback to this trend line here and then move up, or bull flag. Like to see it bull flag, really stay above this trend line and just bull flag to the right. So there's the transports. Let's go look at the financials. XLF. Got little mini higher lows and higher highs. Get your dailies in an uptrend so far. Transports hanging out on top of the midpoint right there. That's this midpoint. I mean, we could drag it out to here. They're trying to struggle with this one, but from this right here, we're up over the midpoint. That's a good sign. Like to see it just bull flag from here. We'll see what happens. So the hourly on the transports, the financials, they were looking good going right into close. Green trend indicator. They're just starting to roll over now in the pre-market. Probably test this area right here at 333.30 sometime today on the XLF. Whether it bounces, I don't know. But I think they'll test that. Might have a little bounce back to 33.50. I think they got an open gap down here to be filled. So it starts from here and it goes up to there. So we have an open gap on XLF. So I would expect them to probably fill that gap today. We'll see what happens. There's the XLF. Starting an hourly downtrend right now. So here's one's, I think there's a lot of potential in this one. All right, this is natural gas. All right, so let's take a look at this on the daily chart. And let's take this and swing it. And let's take this and start another one and see if we get a parallel. Yeah, pretty much. So look for nat gas to probably make that bounce off a trend line right here. That's what we're looking for. If you look at it on the daily, you got a kind of like a little mini head and shoulders happening here. Shoulder one, shoulder left, shoulder right, and then here's your head. Neckline is going to be, of course, right through there. Look for this to come down and spike back up. Hopefully we can get a spike back up and not some kind of follow through to fill the gap that's down here. Okay. So we got head, right shoulder, left shoulder. There's your neckline right there. We're kind of breaking through the neckline or testing it right now. All right, you do have an open gap right here. But this has got the potential to probably, if we're going to have an economic recovery, if we get an economic recovery, they're going to need natural gas is going to be a valuable resource along with oil. So take a look at UNG. Look for a J hook to materialize, hopefully. But let it tell you when the J hook is happening, okay? Because right now you've got a head and shoulders kind of playing out, and let's just wait for that to happen first. Yeah, UNG. Below the midpoint. Let's take a look at that. I hate that when that happens. Yeah, here's your low and your high. We've still got all the way down to 686 for a midpoint. Now, if you move it out, to here, it's still above the midpoint. You can if you want to, but I mean on this one, it's a daily chart. You've got a low and a high. I mean, I don't think I would do it any justice if I didn't include this low and this high. I want every bit of edge I can extrapolate. So I'm going to include that one and that one, right? I don't know about last 8 bars. I don't use that. I use highs and lows, CJ. Here's a low, here's a high. Yeah. For me, that's where the midpoint belongs, right there. All right. But keep an eye on UNG. Hopefully we can get a J hook happening. If not, we don't have minor support until we get all the way back down to there. See that tail sticking up? That's your closest sign of minor support right there. Major support underneath it right there. There's your major support. This is your minor support. Hope it doesn't come back that far, but it's always a possibility. The biggest, most recent for me, I mean, I could definitely go all the way back to here, but I'm just talking about this move off this base down here. Hey, good morning, Mike. Yes, I'll take a look at DPST. So for me, this is the way I choose to measure it, is this move. This is the last move from the low to the high. Does that make sense, CJ? This was the last move. Looking at the daily chart. Okay, I'm only looking at the daily chart. Now, I could go to the weekly and I'd have to this is the last move, from here down. Right. All right, so there's UNG. Take a look at 3 more items. All right, we've got USO. Okay, USO is just a big bear flag. All right, so you got comes down, and there's your flag right there. That's a big bear flag right now in oil. So waiting for breakout or something. Very choppy action. Nothing in there says I would have an edge other than going to the edge up here and just shorting it every time it gets back up there. That's it. That's the only edge I would have on USO. It just looks like it's in a big channel right there. We pull this out, down, just chopping all over the place. All right, so let's take a look at precious metals. Gold, daily downtrend, hourly, trying to start an hourly uptrend yesterday. All right. See, well, actually on the 30th, hopefully they make a higher low right here. We'll see what happens if gold's going to become in favor. All right, so let's take a look at silver. Silver starts an hourly uptrend a couple days ago, back on Friday. Gold tried to start an hourly uptrend. Silver's getting crushed right now. On the daily chart, silver's still in a downtrend. Getting hammered today, probably back into the minor support area right up here. So there's silver. All right, so I hit those two. Let's go take a look at DPST. Regional banks. This is the bullish on the regional banks. Well, right now for this one, Elmer, it's a big bear flag. Okay. You've got, a move down and a really long flag right there. That's a big bear flag. I'm not interested in playing this right now. I don't see an edge for me in this big bear flag that's gone on for 1, 2, 3, 4 months now. I don't see a huge edge for me to play it. Now, if I drill down, let's see if there is anything there for me to play. So let's zoom in on it. It's bearish right now, but the XLF is bullish. So, I mean, I really wouldn't want to test this. You do have a equal low right here. See that? You got an equal low. So here's the lowest low down here. And then you've got an equal low right there. And they're still struggling to make that higher high. So this is the bullish 3X. I would not think that shorting the bullish 3X would be a good plan of action. I'm sure there's a bearish 3X that would probably be easier to play than shorting the bullish 3X. And right now it's failing. It's kind of failing to make that higher high. Earnings probably can't get here soon enough for this to get a big bounce. But they took a big tumble off of 290, 260 all the way down to 50. Okay. So I wouldn't be interested in playing this yet. MDB. Here's your flag. You got that breakout that happened right here. There was your kind of started like an MMRP, up, pause, check support, 1, 2, 3 days up. Right there. So this is breaking out. Still in an uptrend. Notice it popped up, bull flagged over. Then what happened? The 17 EMA came along and made a connection right here. Kind of like a refuel. And then it just started to take off again. So MDB is still bullish. On the hourly is still bullish as of yesterday. I can't count this because I haven't seen it trade yet. You're welcome. WDC long. Let's look at the daily. You got a higher low here. Looks like you could put in a higher low here and test those highs. It's a possibility. This right here, this section of trading, this would be your minor support right there. As you can see, price came into it. We're trying to get a little bounce, but the longer we stay down here in this bull flag, in this bear flag, the more likely the next move is down. See how we're in and then we're flagging here. I need to get back up there and challenge the top side of this bear flag. The longer we stay in this, the next move is to this side. Need to get back up and challenge that. Yep, that upside back there. All right, for WDC to be long. So I'm not interested in this long yet till I see a turnaround. It's not ready yet for me. And WDRO. RW. All right, here's your bear. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have any volume. I'm not seeing any volume here or any price movement. So they're probably not using it too much yet. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. Rick's coming on soon. Everybody, I'll be back in like probably 30 minutes to open up the market.